The 10 Worst Songs of 2025 is out December 13th, but Patreon subscribers will get to watch it with me early, watch a bonus 11th Worst Song on the 9th, and get access to all the past bonus Worst Songs. Support the habit at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. As someone who has followed music trends for a living, and for the purposes of mockery, for like 20 years now, I sometimes wonder about the rise and fall of musical genres when it wasn't tracked by charting companies. Like, what was it like when we went from classical music to, I don't know, whatever replaced it? Ragtime? People in saloons playing piano? Belting out Camptown Races and My Darlin' Clementine? Like, if you're not familiar with Listomania, this was an early version of Stan culture. In the 1840s, the composer Franz Liszt became so popular, both women and men were nuts for him. Apparently, women would try and get locks of his hair. Imagine someone running up to Sabrina Carpenter to try and steal some of her hair. It's actually easily imaginable. People are fucking freaks today. But apparently, in the 1840s, these animals existed too. But his romantic era rhapsodies and sonatas were the pop music of the time. What we now call classical music ruled. And then, at some point, it didn't. And I wonder what the fans of it were like when they first heard ragtime or the blues or jazz, because there absolutely would have been some crossover. People hearing Scott Joplin and saying, "I say, this Joplin fellow isn't fit to tension Liszt's strings." And people would have reacted with whatever their version of the Super Hot meme was. But anyway, in my 40 plus years on this planet, I've personally seen the rise and fall of numerous genres. The death of disco was a little before my time, and I was still shitting in diapers during the early days of glam and hair metal, but I was there for the end of it, and I was old enough to witness the birth of grunge and a death that was far more slow than one caused by a toe in a rifle's trigger guard. I've watched rock itself be called dead more times than Morgan Freeman. And is it possible that I am now alive for the death, or at least the decline, of rap music? Well, don't get your party hats out too quickly, but for the first time in 35 years, a week went by without a single rap song in the top 40. A streak of roughly 1,820 weeks ended on the week of October 25th, which would have been published on October 20th or 21st. Not one rap song in the top 40. Now, it should be noted that part of this might have something to do with Taylor Swift releasing an album a week or two before that. 12 of the top 14 songs were hers. Without all that space taken up, then maybe Tyler the Creator or Young Boy Never Broke Again might have managed to make it in the top 40. But it should be noted that their songs came out and were on the charts before Taylor put her album out, and they failed to peak higher than 41 and 44 respectively. So, don't blame Taylor, you had your chance. But every fucking music journalist has their opinions. DJ Academics, who for some reason intentionally spells it like he's not too big into academics, tweeted this: "Congratulations to the culture and the dot era for successfully ending a streak of 35 years, 8 months, and 3 weeks. No rap songs appear in the top 40 on the Hot 100 for the first time since February 1990. You goofy hip-hop journalists cheered for the label and supported the smear campaign to push out the only guy who carried this genre for 15 consecutive years by calling him a pedophile. Pat yourselves on the back." Oh, I believe I will. So, his claim is that because Kendrick made Drake look bad, which Drake made Drake look bad, let's always remember that, that's why an entire genre is losing its popularity. That's absurd. If the genre relied on one guy, the Canadian ex Degrassi actor who started from the middle, then you could put the sticks down a year or two ago because that horse was already dead. But of course, that's not the case. Plenty of other rappers exist, including, of course, Kendrick, who had maybe one of the biggest songs last year and will probably make the year-end Hot 100's top 40 again this year. Maybe even the top 10 again. So, what's really to blame? Canadian music journalist Alan Cross, who people fucking love to slurp his shaft here, but I don't think he's fuck all, he wrote an article blaming how the charts are compiled now. For some reason, talking about Taylor Swift selling a bunch of physical albums, which has absolutely nothing to do with the singles chart, and then yapping about the phenomenon of K-pop demon hunters, which has had like 3 to 5 songs dominating the top 40 ever since the movie came out on Netflix. And then goes, and then after that, and then 3 other popular artists, there are only 17 slots left. So, where's the rap songs in those 17 slots? At the end, he makes this statement. Anyone who grew up with top 40 radio in the 60s, 70s, and 80s was exposed to a wide variety of sounds and genres. Not so much anymore, right? The Billboard charts may matter less than they ever did. What the fuck are you talking about, Alan? The week I'm writing this, the top 10 alone includes 3 modern pop songs, a K-pop song, a chamber pop song, a country song, and songs from a soul artist, 2 R&B singers, and an indie rock artist. That's not a bad mix, all things considered, but I guess Alan Cross can't tell the difference between Morgan Wallen and Kehlani. Good music journalism! I read something from another journalist also complaining about how the charts are compiled and how Taylor and Sabrina release albums that dominate everyone else. But the rules are the same for everyone. When Academic's butt buddy Drake releases an album, his songs also shove everything else down the charts. Every artist, every album, every song is measured by the exact same metrics, which boils down to the more people who listen to it, the higher it gets on the charts. There was a time where I would have wanted to kick myself in the nuts for saying this, but I would argue the charts are way more fair than they used to be in the era where radio play and MTV determined the biggest songs, when 6 people were effectively deciding what songs should get the most airplay and therefore chart the highest. And sure, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all the sources that Billboard looks at the most, they have their algorithms too. But you can choose to literally ignore them and listen to any song at any time. And your choices matter to the charts, when they didn't in the days of radio. And we can see this has been trending down for a while. I used the year-end Hot 100 going back 10 years and 20 years for this, both at times where there was some form of digital plays that were being tracked, streaming, iTunes, whatever. In 2014, 7 of the top 20 songs were rap songs or had rap elements. 10 years before that, 2004, 11 rap songs or songs with rappers, more than half the top 20. Last year, 5 of the top 20 were rap or rap adjacent. 2023, only 3 rap songs made the top 20. I bet 2025's year-end list will look pretty similar. Again, rap as a genre has been trending downward for a while. Why? Well, I have a theory. The game theory. I'm so sorry, I said I'd stop doing that. But anyway, my theory has nothing to do with the way the charts are compiled. Again, everyone's playing by the same rules. In the 2000s and 2010s, when fucking ringtones and then Vine and then TikTok was making rap huge, I didn't hear anyone bitching. That's actually not true at all. I heard people who hate rap music bitching all the time. But when you think of rap, right or wrong, what do you think? Songs about drinking, doing drugs, fucking many women, or men if you're a lady rapper, flexing by buying expensive cars, lots of very adult themes. Gen Z hates all that. You're talking about a generation that goes, "You sex scenes in movies, icky, get it on my screen." It's a generation that often infantilizes itself, calling themselves dumb shit like barely legal 25-year-olds, and coining the term adulting to mean having to do all the normal things humans do to live, cooking and cleaning and going to their job. They don't see drinking as cool. Nearly a third of Gen Z college kids said that they completely abstain from booze. They're a generation who's given up on the idea of ever owning their own home. Waking up in a new Bugatti? They'd be thrilled to wake up in a used Nissan Leaf. It's more eco-friendly too. For millennials, we were dumb edgy fucks who saw the explicit content sticker on an album as a badge of honor. I've told you before that one of the first rap songs I ever heard was 2 Live Crew's Fuck Martinez when I was like 12. It felt like the coolest thing I'd ever heard. My friend bought Snoop's Doggy Style and Onyx's Back to Fuck Up in 1993. We grew up on South Park and Jackass, edgy comedy movies and edgy stand-up comedians. No wonder rap became mainstream for us. But we're getting old. we're not the primary consumers of music. Young people are. And they want the sanitized sexuality of a Sabrina Carpenter and sad songs they can listen to when they're depressed because they spend all day doom scrolling and being told the world sucks. And yes, rap has never been particularly popular in rural areas. Can't understand why. And now that those rural areas can actually get decent internet and cell data and can stream, their song preferences actually count on the charts more than they ever did. So cities aren't dominating. In fact, the biggest rap song of the last year had nothing to do with the usual tropes. It was a drama where a guy calls out another guy for his problematic behavior. Right up Gen Z's alley. So, if rap wants to regain its popularity, it needs to speak to Gen Z. I don't know which will be worse. Rap songs about drinking and fucking, or rap songs about how sad they are that they'll never own land unless their grandparents die and will it to them. That rapper can call themselves Lil Hope, because a little hope is all they got.